This horror story starts many, many years ago. In 1936, a mother and her young daughter visited the town lake. They would often visit 2 to 3 times per week and buy stale bread from the local bakery to feed the birds. While the mother was giving the bread to her daughter to feed the swans, her neighbour approached her, and while they were talking, the young girl mysteriously walked into the lake willingly. The mother screamed as her daughter could not swim. She floated in the water and suddenly sunk like something pulled her under. A local man who had heard the screams ran to the water and jumped in to save the young girl. Seconds went by, which felt like minutes, and the man resurfaced. He shouted, "I can see her, but I cannot reach her. Something is pulling her down." The mother shouted, "Please, save my daughter." He went back underneath, and once again, what were seconds felt like minutes. The man resurfaced and had the young girl in his arms, who was not breathing. He swam to the footpath that ran alongside the lake and tried to resuscitate her, but the young girl was already gone. "I am so sorry," he said to the young girl's mother. "I tried to reach your other daughter, but I could not reach her." "My other daughter?" she asked, as streams of tears fell down her cheeks. "Yes. From what I could see, there were 2 girls in the water. I tried to save the other one, but she was too deep and I couldn't reach her." The mother said, "I only have 1 daughter." On one Sunday morning, a man called Chris took his son Dominic to the lake. It was the summer holidays and the weather was perfect for a morning walk. While walking the footpath to the lake, Chris noticed Dominic walking dangerously close to the side of the lake. He told his son to move away and stick to the footpath. "But Daddy," he responded, "there is a girl in the water who wants to play." Chris immediately ran to the water to see what his son was on about. But all Chris could see was the murky lake waters and leaves washed up on the edge of the lake. "Dominic, please keep to the footpath." While continuing on their walk, Chris bumped into a friend from work. Because it was the summer holidays, Chris decided to take 2 weeks off to spend time with his son. While Chris was talking to his work colleague Wayne, Dominic went further towards the lake. As soon as Chris realized his son had left his side, it was too late. His son Dominic had jumped into the lake. Immediately, Chris ran to the waters as his son Dominic sunk under the water as if he had been pulled by something. Chris dived into the water and swam as fast as he could to find his son, but the murky lake waters made this very tough. He swam to the surface and shouted for Wayne to help him. They both dived deeper into the dark waters, and Chris found his son. He pulled him close and began to swim to the surface, but noticed his son was stuck to something. He grabbed Dominic's ankles and pulled whatever it was that was wrapped around his leg. Panicking for air, he was not willing to leave his son under the waters without him. He pulled as hard as he could, and his son was released. They swam to the surface, where the welcome face of Wayne was waiting for them both. Chris being exhausted, he swam with his son to the edge of the lake. Dominic and Chris both hugged each other on the side of the lake. Wayne said, "Chris, your arm is bleeding." Chris looked to his left arm to see 5 scratch marks coming from a hand deep enough to cause bleeding, running from his elbow to his hand. Chris checked his son's ankles. A red bruise began to appear of a small hand wrapped around the ankle of Dominic. Was this the same girl who pulled that young girl 70 years ago to her death? Or was it her finding her first victim? I hope you've enjoyed today's video of the Haunted Lake horror story. If you would like to listen to more horror stories, please click on the next video.